Hello, everybody. This is so exciting. We are going to have an amazing show today. Barsha, episode 49 with head of community at Clubhouse, Joe Armenia. I'm just asking everybody to share alike. Please get all your friends in here. This is so exciting. And we're going to have a fantastic show. It's so great. I hope everybody has been good and dealing with this incredible change of weather wherever you are in the world. I'm going to jump on stage right now and say hello to all of you. Yay! This is so exciting. Let me say why. We are simulcasting on YouTube. We are on Clubhouse. And we are right here at Fireside. So that is great. Please, everybody, get your friends in here. And we'll be starting in 1 minute. This is very, very exciting. And we have classical music. All right. It is 5 o'clock EDT, and you know what that means. It is time for Barsha, episode 49 with Joe Armenia. Joe, I am going to bring you to the beautiful stage. Joe, did you get my invite? Yes, everybody.
Look, before we go any further, I have to say this must be a career low for you. You must have run out of guests, but here I am.
Here we go. I've got a special song for you. I'm going to put my piano here so you can see my little fingers. Where do you go on Mondays when you want to have fun? Go on Mondays when your day is done. Well, Fireside Chat is where it's at. Our guests are all the best. He's head of Clubhouse community, likes to be heard, not senior. He loves quadrophenia. He's Joe Armenia. Help me in welcoming Joe Armenia.
He's heard, not senior. I love it.
Heard, not senior. Joe Armenia, I want to give you a proper welcome. First of all, for those of you who, God forbid, don't know what Clubhouse is, it saved me in the pandemic. The forerunner of the social audio apps in the world, okay, global stage. Joe is head of community, which we'll find out what that means in a minute. And he has worked at SoundCloud. He has worked at MTV. He was vice president of music marketing there. He worked at RDO, which we'll talk about that, head of music industry partnerships. And he's done unbelievable things for the queer world in music. And I only found that out through a deep dive. And because we're in the queer aging room on Clubhouse, I'd like to start there just for a minute.
I'm aging as we speak, yes.
How was it in the 90s, coming up, being in the music industry as an out queer person? I can't imagine you were ever in the closet. Were you?
No. There was never one to contain me. How was it? It was, I was super young and I was going to do what I was going to do. And it was New York in the 90s. And I just was on a mission to do what I got to do. And never in the closet. Great. No. Nope.
Never in the closet. And just to go back to that, it just growing up, I mean, is it one of those stories where you were out all the time once you came out and you didn't care what your parents thought? You didn't care. You seem so out and open now and you're a breath of fresh air on Clubhouse. I can tell you that, but go ahead. Where did your queer journey start?
I feel like it was always there. I mean, it was never a spoken thing with my family till I was, I don't know, young adult with significant others in my life. But I was always doing me. And that was confusing for a lot of people, including my family. But I always did me, still doing me. No one else does me like me, that's for sure.
I love it. Let's start back. Let's start back with where you told me there were a few places that you worked in your bio that you loved. I want to start first with SoundCloud just for a minute, because at the time there were some great quotes that people said, that you said, and you were your Joe Armenia self. Here's one of your quotes. You were a global head of artist and label relations. Okay. This is a unique opportunity for passive discovery by listeners and greater interactivity for labels and other brands. And I'm totally twerking to this Indian music. Okay, so what happened at SoundCloud that you loved?
What happened at SoundCloud that I loved? So I got to come in to build a team that didn't exist before. So at the time that I joined, they were maybe like 10 or 11 years old and had been kind of a breeding ground for so many artists of different kinds. So many people came up there, people you don't even think came up there. But there was nobody kind of talking to these creators and these artists and these aspiring musicians of all kinds. Nobody talking to them every day to find out what they wanted, what they needed, how are they going to build a sustainable career on a platform that was just there for them to upload things. So I got to build a team around that, a global team that focused on coming up with not only support and marketing, but monetization, which was the thing that didn't really exist before in that space. So we helped some people make some money and build their careers. And it was in so many ways the first of its kind. And I'm so proud of what we did there. It was a great time at a great business, doing great things for people that deserved it.
That is amazing. And you told me there were a few queer artists, and I looked them up because I hadn't been on SoundCloud for a while. But you had Kalani, who had 770. Yeah, Kaylani. Is it Kaylani? Thank you. You had who else? Oh, didn't she open for Demi Lovato and DJ Khaled's tour? Or no?
She maybe I'm not sure, but she.
I read about her. And Taylor Bennett. You had
Taylor Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah, and these were out queer artists, correct?
Yeah, and obviously, that doesn't play into the factor. These are people that brought their careers to kind of be birthed on SoundCloud. And we wanted to, I think my quote at the time for my team was like, we want to represent gender, geography, and genre, the 3 Gs. And that was kind of how we sign people into our directly signed program, make sure that all of those were represented across the board. And, regardless of where they fall into the spectrum, they are talented people that deserved an audience who happen to be queer. And how could I hate that? So
I love it. Now, what do you look for in an artist? You're like an A&R guy, like a traditional A&R guy is what I figured out from looking at everything you've done.
It was, in a lot of ways, it was at SoundCloud, because what we were kind of almost like a record label. So we were signing people into direct deals to put their content up on SoundCloud. And it really needed to be something that was original, that wasn't trying to copy the successful path of somebody else on the platform. And that's what I always loved about SoundCloud as just a music listener, was that there were no boundaries and no restrictions. Like, people could be as creative as possible because there's no one telling you what music to make. And if you don't have an audience, fine, because you started with none. So you had literally nothing to lose. And people that wanted to take risks and try other things, that really stood out. And for a platform like SoundCloud, it was also consistency and the way you interact with the fans on the platform. And that is a thing that if you don't get it right early, you're never going to get it right. Like, you need to build that direct relationship with the people that are consuming it, because it's not about, like, when we were young, you had to break on the radio. We didn't even have American Idol. We didn't have the internet, obviously. So what makes it so different for people trying to put content out now in the music space is, like, you need to be, yes, you need to be musically talented. That's a given, but you need to know how to work every system of every platform. And for us at SoundCloud, like, we tried to make it as user-friendly as possible, but you could tell the people that would interact with the fans, because they were music fans and they wanted to have that dialogue. And that dialogue is the thing that kind of grows you as you go. So that was certainly a thing to look for, besides, the ability to make a great song.
I love it. I love it. So you knew that people, and this, what was this? This is way before TikTok. Wait, what year was this that you were at SoundCloud?
SoundCloud was 2016 to 18. So 7 to 5 years ago.
Okay. I have something to show you. And
Oh
this
God.
and I know, but I just did a deep dive on you. And because it is called On a Queer Day. And I love this show because it's about highlighting great things that queer people have done. And I found a picture of you that I want to show you. And I want
Oh
you to
God.
explain to us what this is.
No. Oh. Okay. I thought you might find something else.
Now,
That one's not
Joe,
bad. Okay.
this is, let
That
me
one is
just say,
somewhat approved.
this is Music Industry Fights AIDS. Can we please have applause for that? Come on. Music industry. What year was that, Joe? Wait.
That one had to be like, I don't know, 2002 maybe?
Look at
2003?
him. Look at Joe in 2002. Music industry fights AIDS. I was very impressed with this, and I was actually quite moved. Can you just explain to us who these people are, why they're important, or were you the only important one?
No, there's a few important people there. So that what I was doing. I was at MTV at the time, and so that was for MTV2, and we would do a concert every month. So part of my job was how you work with artists in different ways besides video playing. And I created this concert series called $2 Bill, and it was $2 ticket to get in. It was on the second of the month, every month. And all of the proceeds would go to Lifebeat, which is an industry, the music industry fights AIDS. It's a great organization. If you don't know Lifebeat, look them up. They've been around a really long time. They do a lot of great stuff with the music community and the industry. And they really have done great stuff. So to raise awareness on these events that we did every month and these live concerts was, a no-brainer. So did a lot of work with Lifebeat over the time that I was at MTV for 13 years. Wow. But yeah, did a lot of work with them, and I'm super proud of it. They are an amazing organization.
I want to give you applause for that, because when I did this deep dive and I was looking at your bio, I did not see that anywhere. And I went deep diving into queer Joe Armenia, the whole thing, and I found this. And this is very important to me. I lost a lot of people, as we might have both done, And the fact that you went into the music business and did that, I just want to give you kudos for that. This is a beautiful segue into MTV. Tell us what your title was at MTV and what years you were there.
I was there from the 90s to the late 2000s. And I started as a assistant. They hired me for 2 months. And when I left, I was vice president of music marketing, which you might not know what the hell that means. And I think we didn't know at the time. And it's kind of funny now to talk about MTV as a music brand, obviously, since it's changed a lot in the years since I've been gone. But my job was essentially, what the hell are we going to do to be a music brand now that we don't play videos as much anymore? The internet was taking eyeballs away. People were not watching linear television as much. So what are you going to do with artists? And that was my job. Like, how amazing is it that my job could be like, what are you going to do to support great artists? And please come up with ideas, and don't stop doing that, and build a great team around it, and do amazing things. And honestly, the honor of a lifetime. If I would have died the day I left, I would have said I had a complete life. I did everything I wanted to do, and put a fork in me.
Oh, I love it. Now, look, let's face it. We don't want to have dirt. We don't want to spill tea. But you worked with some of the greats. You worked with Britney. You worked with Madonna. You worked with so many people when you were at MTV.
Yeah.
Can you give us a story that you feel comfortable telling about one of these artists? And you told me that if it wasn't for Madonna, you wouldn't be into all of this.
Yeah, I when I was a kid, I'm that age, like I had to work at MTV. It was like something I knew I was going to do. And I'm somewhat of a manifester in some regards. And that was just like a non-negotiable. I was going to do that. And, as a little queer boy, everyone has their lady, their diva, their like person. And for me, it was always Madonna. It was never about the music. It was about the balls, like the huge, massive balls, and the attitude and the everything that comes with it, and the like fuck you of it. And I was just all about that always. So she was my girl, and I'm like, I have to work around that some way, somehow. I have to get into that mix. And that's what, it didn't get any bigger in gay culture or pop culture at the time. And I was like, I'm going to ride that train, and I'm going to figure out how to do it. And
You did it.
That was it. I had
did
to. I had to find a way to work with that orbit of genius.
I love it. It's a great way to talk about her, the orbit of genius, and how it's lasted for so long. And
Crazy.
I pulled a quote from you about MTV in the press that you said something. Let's talk about this quote because it's great. You can get a music video online at Yahoo or a million other places, but you can't get the full experience that you can get with an MTV off-air experience, says Joe Armenia, VP of Music Marketing and Promotion at MTV. Being able to put the viewer in touch with the artist is one of the advantages MTV brings to the table. Boy, I remember the early days of MTV in the 80s, and then it became all about reality show, houses, and I had to stop watching. But for you to bring it back, in that way to artist-centric, I just really...
It was, the fact that the quote was like, you get a video at Yahoo, it tells you when it was, but that was such a divergence of time, and everything was changing so quickly, and there was an urgency around what we could do to still be this music brand. And that was a privilege and an honor. And I still can't believe it. Like, I remember sitting at my desk in my hot pink office, and my office was hot pink. I don't know how I pulled that one off. I remember sitting there, and even like towards the end, looking down like letterhead with my name on it. I'm like, I can't believe I work here. Like, I still can't believe it. So now that it's so far in the rearview mirror, I look at it, I'm like, I can't believe I did all that. But also, it's like a lifetime ago, and MTV means nothing to most people except for tragic, horrible programming. But it was the time of a lifetime, and I'm so lucky, so lucky.
Listen, gratitude always. You always say that, even on Clubhouse, and we're going to talk about Clubhouse in a minute. You always talk about how lucky you are to be working at a place you love, and you've done it throughout your career. I do want to say that, one of the things that I do love about you is you are yourself. And if people don't know, how people don't know about Clubhouse is beyond me, okay? Because it saved my life in the pandemic. But all of a sudden, we had the, we love seeing founders of apps. And all of a sudden, this queer person just burst onto the scene and started giving us app updates. And I was in heaven. I want to ask you this. Looking back at SoundCloud, MTV, Clubhouse, what is the thing that joins them all that appeals to you? What do you think?
That's actually an easy one. So like the thread of everything I've done for 87 years now is like, how do you connect people that have something to say or something to express to the people that want to hear it? And, whether it's a musician, as it mostly has been, and that didn't change until SoundCloud, when I realized, I'm here to take care of artists, but half of this platform is podcasters and publishing houses and spoken word and authors and other people doing other things too, and they need support too. Great. So to me, it's always been somebody with a creative voice or with something to say. How can I help drive them to the people that want to hear it and build that relationship between them? And that's always been the thread. So I know it Clubhouse feels like a curveball, but when you think of it that way, it's actually not.
No, it doesn't. Oh, people are clapping in the audience. They love it. Listen, Clubhouse does not feel like a curveball to me. And one of the reasons on my song I wrote, "He likes to be heard, not seen ya," is because, you love social audio. You make it very clear that you love it. Why do you love social audio? It's such a new landscape. Why do you love it?
I love audio in general. To start, I was that kid obsessed with music who would sit in his closet with his headphones on in the dark. Maybe I was lip syncing or something, but
maybe. Oh, he got
music in my ear, and that has evolved as I've gotten less interested in discovering new music every week. When you get old, you're like, there's music I rely on and there's things I like, but I don't need to constantly keep up because it's not my job anymore, or I have a team whose job it is to do that. And then I was like, let me listen to podcasts. Let me listen to something else that's spoken. And I think like the rest of the world, it was COVID that did that number on me. It certainly did what it did to Clubhouse, but it brought a lot of people together in a way that they never imagined, but also could not imagine going back now. So I have always liked being at the forefront of a new technology. For me, it was, as MTV evolved and it was all digital stuff, what would I do? That's different there. And then when I went into streaming music at the first company, nobody knew what streaming was. So to me, it was like, how do I plant the seed in people's head and get them excited about what's going to be the future? And I feel like we're still at the dawn of social audio, whatever that's going to be. None of us even knows yet. And that's how great is that I can help figure it out.
Unbelievable. And this platform, RDO, which I didn't even know about, spelled RDIO. You were head of music industry partnerships, and it was from the people that founded Skype. So you were right there,
yeah.
so much so that this blip on the radar came and went before I even knew about it. Can you explain what
that
RDO
was the problem?
That was the problem?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like, I left after MTV. I kind of picked up and I was like, where am I going to go? I want to do something different with my life because, like I said, I'd done it all, and I was like, I need a change. I'm going to go as far away from music as I can, not knowing that music was going to be completely a digital property. So I moved to San Francisco and discovered RDO, which I'm not surprised you don't know what a lot of people didn't, which was the problem. But Spotify wasn't here yet. Apple Music wasn't here yet. It appealed to me because, wow, here's a great way that you could consume music on your own terms, that nobody knew what streaming was. And I joined, I fell in love with the product. My first job was to just get celebrities and famous people that I knew on the app. People didn't understand streaming still. It was kind of an uphill battle. But we created a lot of and I don't even think that this is blowing smoke up my own ass, although I would. We were ahead of so many things that Spotify still tries to do today. And we were the first social music service. And it was amazing to represent a new technology that we all knew might or might not make it. But we were at the forefront of what streaming has become and still will evolve to. And I got to be on a plane every day for 5 years, going to a different country and talking to artists and managers and record labels about what streaming is and how it could work for you, and like how bizarre, like the most strange opportunity that I loved so much. And when it fell, I fell apart because it was that we were that ahead of things.
It was that revolutionary. Somebody said it was the Napster we always wanted or something. So what did they say? There was some quote I was looking on. Am I thumbs up for anybody that knew what RDO was?
Thumbs up anyway, just to make me feel better.
I'll give you I like to give applause a lot. I looked at some of the facts of RDO. You managed all record label, distributor, and artist partnerships in 86 countries. 86 countries. Yeah. My God.
It was honestly such a great moment in evolution of music. Just to be a part of the kind of process of unleashing that into the world through us or somebody else. And nobody really knew it. The people that knew it and liked it loved it. But it was once Spotify launched, it was kind of like, forget it. We're never going to be able to match muscle with that, because it was the startup mentality that I kind of still work with. And I loved it. I am eternally grateful. And I'm amazed you found anything on it, because it's kind of been pushed aside. But I'm amazed you found anything on me, because I've been a little scrubbed from the internet, which is good.
That's what I want to talk about. Does it have to do with being queer? Because I'm going to show some pictures of you being out and proud. I want to say also, before you tell me about being scrubbed off the internet, that you were on the board of directors of Folsom Street Events. You booked the music stage at Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco, right? Many years. And it was like everyone from Berlin to Lady Hawk to Billy Ray Martin. I mean, it was like major. Also, we showed the picture from Lifebeat. And I want to say that you were Person of the Year, AIDS Person of the Year. I don't know what year it was, but you did all these benefits. I know, but you were.
I don't remember.
You were Person of the Year in the queer community, and you were doing music. And please tell me why you were scrubbed from the internet. This freaks me out.
No. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Oh, you did.
It's a really good thing. not even close to being a celebrity, so I can't even imagine what that must be like for people with actual talent in the world. But on Clubhouse, as you probably witnessed as a person in the community, some people take that app very personally. Like it's home to so many people, which I love, 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 love. And I don't just run the community team. I'm in the community. So I'm in the conversations. Like, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be in all the conversations. I'm not going to sugarcoat myself because I work there. But I'm also a person that has opinions. And because I'm visible as an employee, people get very comfortable with talking to the employees or sharing their opinions with the employees. And that can cross over to, finding my email online and, sending things to my house and things like that. And, when the thing about social media of any kind is like people are brought together, which is so amazing. And when relationships happen of any kind, anything could happen that happens in a relationship, good, bad, or otherwise. So, I could meet you on Instagram and you could become my stalker, please do, and send me, dead fish in the mail or something. But that could also happen at Clubhouse. And as an employee, thank you, Clubhouse, for making sure that the ability for people to find out personal things about me or ways to get a hold of me, they protected me, which is so great. And I'm ridiculously appreciative. So when I Google myself, it's a lot less, which is nice because I haven't had the best past.
But I found there's some great things that I'm going to talk about and show pictures of, because there are some things on the internet that are wonderful. But listen, Joe, I know you prefer not being, seen and being heard, but I'm so happy and honored that you came here today to actually be on this platform so we can see what you look like. Because so many people on Clubhouse over the past year, yes, everyone's clapping, want to see what Joe looks like when he's talking, because you're so powerful when you talk. One of the things you did on Clubhouse for me, and I do want to say, because Martha Barsha is here, my mother down there, is on Clubhouse, I taped a town hall, and I would like to play what you said about my mother and I.
Oh, you're going to make everybody see how filtered that photo is, because they can look at it right next to me.
She started a house called Mom and Me.
Now I got to start it again because you just went over it. Here we go.
And that is from longtime community member Barsha. So she started a house called Mom and Me, where she got her 87-year-old mother to join a house with her, and they take questions from people. And her mom, Martha Barsha, is a trip. So if you get a chance to listen to Mom and Me, a room in that house, by all means do it, because Martha Barsha is the most exciting thing to happen to this app in a really long time. So
oh my God!
Where's the lie? Where is the lie?
So, if people that don't know about Clubhouse, there is a town hall that had been happening all year, and they highlight the houses of the people. So Martha Barsha, look at Martha Barsha, she has her thumbs up down there. My mother and I do have that show, and thank you. I wanted to thank you publicly for that. Now,
of course, please. It's an honor to listen to, and honestly, one of the most amazing use cases of Clubhouse that none of us expected, but feels so right at the same time. So just shows what social audio can and will be, and who the hell knows, and leave it to the Barshas to trailblaze it.
Now, look, we're going to talk about how somebody in your position trains for, did you go to college? What is your background education-wise?
I did go to college. I majored in communications, which is like a really lame fallback for, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I thought, if I go communications major, then I can hear about music, and I can hear about film, and we can talk about TV. And if I have to write a paper, then I'm going to talk about some pop culture reference, and how easy is that going to be? I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Don't expect me to figure it out yet. And
where did you go? Yeah. Oh, do you not want these informational things?
No, I don't. I went to Fordham in New York City.
You went to Fordham. Oh, how great. So here you are. You go to Fordham. You get all these great jobs, and yet you're in love with AM radio gold, which is my jam. Okay? And so Joe sends me a list, and he says to me, "Oh, here's my playlist, and look what's on it."
I'll perform it if you'd like.
Oh, perform a little. Lip sync for us, just a little bit.
Hello, yeah, it's been a while. Not much. How about you? I'm not sure why I called. I guess I really just wanted to talk to you.
Okay, stop. Do the next one. Let's see if we can do the next one. Are
Okay.
you ready?
I love this game. Oh, this is a personal fave.
Here we go, Joe Armenia and America.
Well, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday.
Okay, stop. Can we please?
You cannot stump me on AM Gold.
Okay, you have given me segues to the most incredible thing that I'm going to talk about today. Are you ready, everybody? I have prepared for Joe one thing that people don't know. He's worked all these places. He's head of community on Clubhouse. Guess what he also is? He is a Golden Girls aficionado.
Yes.
Are you ready, Joe?
I'm so ready.
I'm going to give you trivia about Golden Girls. Are you ready?
Oh, shit. If I don't get this right.
It's okay. It's multiple choice. They put it on the internet, but you might get these before multiple choice. Whose concert tickets did the girls get arrested for scalping on Golden Girls?
Frank Sinatra.
Yes! Okay. Number 2. Who sang the theme song to the Golden Girls?
Give me the choices.
I'll give you the choices. Madonna, Jennifer Warren, Stevie Nicks, or Cynthia Fee?
It's the last one, Cynthia, whatever. Could you imagine if Stevie Nicks did it? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That'd be so funny. Okay. What is the name of Sophia's brother?
Angelo.
I'll get... Yes! This is freaking me out.
Keep going.
All right.
Yes.
What happened when Stan took Sophia and Dorothy to a baseball game on Golden Girls?
Oh, Sophia got hit with a baseball and she faked amnesia. Foul ball.
It was true. Okay, you're freaking
Try to get the
out.
money.
All right. On Golden Girls, what is the name of Rose's old dog from when she was a child?
Ooh.
Now, I'll give you the
Options.
choice. Should I give you the options? Okay. Rose's old dog from when she was a child. Bingo, Rusty, Rover, or Lucky?
Oh, God, you went deep. Bingo.
Let's see. It was Rusty. Okay.
I'm
so
a abysmal failure.
No, you're not. All right. Who once played an Elvis impersonator on the
Quentin
Golden Girls?
Tarantino.
Yes. Yes. Okay. How does Sophia always refer to Dorothy's brother on the Golden Girls? I'll give you the choices. Should I give you the choices?
The cross-dressing brother? Yes.
Sophia always refers to Dorothy's brother on TV Golden Girls. Your brother Phil, Stan, that boy, or him?
Your brother Phil.
Let's see. Yes. Okay, we're almost done. What is the name of Blanche's granddaughter? Do you have any? I'll give you the choices.
Okay. She had a couple.
Melissa, Melanie, Monica, or Mona?
It was Melissa, but she also had Aurora, the one from the test tube baby. Yes, but it was Melissa.
Okay, come on, everybody. This is major. This is major. Are you up for the last few or no?
Heck yes.
Okay, I love you for this. I love you.
Oh my God, I love you for
By
this.
the way-
Don't stop.
By the way, this is a queer thing. You don't know how many gay people watch the Golden Girls over.
Of course.
and over. Thank you. Here we go. Who on the Golden Girls wanted to have their head frozen upon death?
Rose.
Let me see. Yes.
Don't like that episode.
Okay, he can quote the episodes. Okay, I don't even want to tell you what we've gone down the road of Golden Girls. All right, this is blowing me away. When the girls are flying to Rose's aunt's funeral on Golden Girls, who's the captain of the plane? I'm going to give you the church. The church.
I think I know, but do it.
Captain Kirk, Captain Harry, Captain Morgan, or Captain Lord?
Captain Kangaroo.
What?
Captain who? Wait.
Captain Kirk, Captain Morgan, Captain Harry, or Captain Lord?
Lord.
Girls, the gold.
It was Lord.
Girls, yes, you got it. They said bullseye. You don't understand what you're scoring on this test. I'm sorry, but I'm so into this. Can I keep going, please?
You could do this till Thursday for all I care. Let's go.
Let's finish it. What was the name of the elitist club Barbara Thorndike belonged to?
Oh, the Mortimer Club. What a bitch.
God. What is the club? Why do you know these things? Wait,
Because I was a kid in my closet with my headphones on who took them off on Saturday night. That's all.
let me tell you why this is so great for me, because you said something that is so about queer queer identity. You said it taught me sass.
It did. It did. I have been, I did learn my sarcasm and my quip and my ability to tear people to shreds with one word from B. Arthur.
Okay,
No
that's
lie.
true about that is me. Okay, I'm almost done. I just got to finish these. I made these up for you.
Let it out, girl.
Why couldn't Rose fall asleep for 4 days?
She was a
Are you ready?
I want to hear the choices before I say that she was a pill popper.
Oh my God. She was addicted to painkillers. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Mm-hmm, yep. Mm-hmm.
Was she I'm not going to click it yet to see if it's right. Blanche was keeping her up. She was drinking caffeine loaded tea. She was addicted to painkillers, or she stayed up late with Sophia.
Okay, B, C, and D are all options. But for 4 days, I think 4 days is either the painkillers or the tea. It was the tea. She was drinking caffeine tea. Yeah.
Oh my God. You only have not answered one so far. What street do they live on?
Richmond.
Yes.
Richmond.
Who is the guy that Rose went on the cruise ship with? Are you ready?
Arnie.
Arnie Peterson. Oh my God, you're a genius. I don't know what's happened to you with Golden Girls. This formed your life.
I think I have mental issues. Yeah.
What was carved on the girls' front door? What was carved on their front door? I'll give you an exclamation point, Sophia's initials, Blanche was here, or nothing.
Nothing.
Let's see if he's right. It's an exclamation point.
Where?
I don't know.
I need that episode.
You need that. Okay, we're almost done. On how many years were Dorothy and Stanley married?
38.
Oh my God. And two more. Ready? Where did Blanche work? Does she not work? The museum?
She works part-time at a museum.
That's right. What type of business did Sophia open on the boardwalk?
A pizza knish stand.
No. It's just pizza. It says here, but you knew it was knish? Okay,
it was pizza / knish because she was married to that nice man whose name I don't remember.
Here, and we're done after this. We just spent 5 minutes on the Golden Girls. But listen, when Rose made a smelly dessert on the Golden Girls, what did the girls have to do to eat it? They had to hold their nose.
Spare hoof and Krispies.
You have done it. All right, that was, I don't know. I got such a thrill out of that. Now let's move into Clubhouse for our second part of this show.
Okay.
By the way, if anybody has any questions for Joe, please, I'm looking in the chat now. There's people laughing. There's people, you wouldn't believe all the reactions if you look in the chat. It's insane.
They're probably saying, why hasn't somebody given him a 5150? Which is totally understandable.
Okay, what happened with this AM Gold before we go further? Why do you love that era of AM radio gold?
A couple of reasons. So, like I said, I used to, between later MTV, all of RDO and a lot of SoundCloud, because they were based in Europe, I was on a plane a lot. So you just need a playlist that's going to lull you into something. And the thing that came to my mind. I was like, how do I make a playlist that reminds me of like being a child and I'm coddled and I'm on these road trips with my parents. It just reminds me of being in cars with my parents. And like I said before, like I don't care about what comes out every week anymore, because sometimes you just want like, you don't want to try the new hot restaurant. You want that comfort food, something that reminds you of whatever. And if I don't have to, I like something I can fall back on that just reminds me of a time that was before any of my life happened. And that is just so kind of pure and easy.
Okay.
Also, they don't write songs like that anymore.
Thank you. And that's what I was hoping.
Not even close.
Yeah, I was hoping that you'd say something like that because I really...
They're stories.
I'm going to talk. By the way, if anybody has any questions for Joe, I'm not bringing people up on the stage, but please put them in the question thing here, and I will ask the questions here. But I do want to say, so now here we are at Clubhouse. Now, I want to know what it's like for you, and I don't want to talk about Clubhouse too much because you talk about it all the time, because being head of community, it is part of your job to be yourself and show up. Am I right? So now,
and by the way, I don't take for granted for a single minute that somebody as out there and flamboyant, at the risk of sounding like Liberace, I don't take for granted that somebody lets me be that publicly visible as a representative of their company. It's not an easy thing to do sometimes, but it was never even it's natural. Like, I'm a person who uses this app too. So,
and social audio is different than social media to me. It is, because what people forgot in the pandemic was that it wasn't just a country. It wasn't just this and that. It was the world. And all of a sudden this app comes and you know what it was for me? I'm going to really age myself. Ham radio. It was ham radio. You would like tune in to a frequency to maybe hear somebody on the other side of the earth. But this audio was so clear. It was like they were right there. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing freaked me out. So now let me ask you, and this may be divulging too much. Did you go for this job? Were you recruited? How did you get this head of community at Clubhouse? This revolutionary thing?
Aggressively went after it.
Wow.
I heard about it. I knew that there was some evolution in the team that was already here. And I made a full court press. I've always kind of done that. Like, I have to go after what I want, whether it's like, people I've had sex with or jobs that I want. Like, I got to get what I want. It's just like a thing that I do. And I wanted this one really badly. And I could kind of attribute it to, I remember talking to a friend about leaving San Francisco when I decided I was ready to move away after 11 years. And I said I didn't want to leave my friends. And he said to me, yeah, but your friends can be anywhere. Like, they're your friends already. And I was like, okay. And that's what I always felt about this app. And in addition to the fact that I could do all the other things for people that want to have an audience and build a community and create something in there, whatever it is, I think a lot of us that use this, most of us that use this, would say it's a great place to cultivate a friendship. And your friends could be anywhere. And we all learned that in the past 4 years. And as somebody who's worked remote for 9 years, maybe, I already kind of knew that and felt that. And I thought, there's something I can contribute here, because the people that are doing interesting things in the world, to me, aren't musicians anymore as much. They're people that are finding new ways to do whatever it is they want to do and get people to listen to them. And that, to me, was an evolution. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this if it kills me. And it almost did, but here I am.
You got it. So, Joe, some of the things that I want people to understand on Clubhouse is that when people have houses and we create rooms, if you haven't been on Clubhouse, my friends here at Fireside, please download the app and get into it. You will have a great time. And we have a friend here, Cassidy, who does new user onboarding with you, which is great. I want to say that somebody on Clubhouse, look at my picture of Kim. Yeah. That's my picture. Somebody on Clubhouse has done funny things. Can you explain? Well, this is Agatha. I want to give her credit on Clubhouse. When Joe says that tell them what you do when you say, oh, you can look for anything on Clubhouse. Go ahead, tell them why this is funny.
Cassidy asks me every week as part of the conversation is, what are the things that you like to look for on Clubhouse? What are the things you're interested in? And I rotate the answers just to really demonstrate that literally there is something for everybody there. And I try to find the most obscure things every week just to kind of keep it fresh and, kind of stump Cassidy a little bit and bring some levity to it. So I think, sometimes I say competitive duck herding, or I think this was about bonsai trees and just...
This was
I don't
about
even know what other things are.
Pizza and peanut butter.
Two Boots Pizza. Somebody asked about pizza that I like.
And this is the bonsai trees.
That's the bonsai tree. And I said I like to make dioramas, which, by the way, who's made a diorama since the 1940s? But she found a diorama. And, another thing about scavenging through cemeteries, looking for relatives. So, the most amazing thing about this community is that everything feels participatory if you want it to. And my hat's off to Agatha, because I don't know how she does it every week. Like I just don't know. This one, it was jazzercise, and I can't. Well, bless her.
People are loving.
It's exactly what I look like.
This is fantastic. Okay, now I got a few more pictures that I found of you. I want you to explain them and what they mean. Here is a little movie. Let's talk about this.
People in the crowd, grab a partner, take it down. Me against the music.
That is a little racy for this audience at this time of day.
Come on, we need to hear what the hell is happening.
I was in Palm Springs and I don't wear bright color, and that was my answer.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I got a few more of them. You're going to have to tell me what these are. Are you ready? What's happening?
This is a event where we dressed up as 1960s Swedish flight attendants. Not very Swedish, but we work with what we have. But look at that. Ridiculous.
Isn't that great? What is this? Tell me what this event was.
Oh, that's a birthday party I threw. That's me in there, actually.
That's how people show up at a birthday party. Okay, I love this. What is this?
My official birthday portrait. Wow, you pulled them all out. This is, a friend of mine was in a staging of Barbarella, and
oh my God.
Another friend and I decided we were going to out Barbarella the Barbarellas, and just walked into this, regional theater and tried to steal the show with light up head things with stars on it. I do stupid things.
This one
I can't be responsible.
I call pink-haired Christ. Can you please tell me what's happening?
Oh, that's the most recent photo of me, actually. That's just me drunk. That's all you really need to know there.
That's all you really need to know. And my last one, what the hell is happening here?
I probably was drunk, and I know that I'm wearing something that's not for public viewing, so thankfully I put my hands in appropriate places. Yeah.
Okay. Can we please?
Here's the problem. Barsha, I will do anything, anytime. Just give me a cocktail and make me laugh. I'm good.
Let me tell you why I am so blown away that you came here today. When we're on Clubhouse, you are in the stratosphere of Clubhouse. You don't know what this meant to me and the queer community. Why I am broadcasting on queer aging on my phone on Clubhouse is because I want people to realize we have somebody in our community in the high echelons of Clubhouse who's representing us. And I want to give you another applause. So this was incredible. Can you talk a little bit about Folsom Street events when you're in San Francisco? Yeah, please.
So if you don't know, Folsom Street Fair is kind of their signature event. They do a couple other ones, but they're all benefits. It's a 401c3 company. And Folsom Street Fair being the biggest one, which attracts like 400,000 people in one day, in a weekend kind of long series of events. But the fair itself is 400,000 people. And we every year would raise probably $500,000+ that went to local and national charities that would fight homophobia and AIDS discrimination and multiple different things. And as a member of the board, we would get to kind of decide which charities would receive certain allotments of the money that we raised every year. So that was always a really important part to me, and really was the spirit of community in person. And if you've never been to that fair, you are missing out on seeing everything you didn't know was possible between two or more people.
It's amazing. It really is. And, I just, the fact that you said, can I ask you the question that everybody asks everybody, which are, what pronouns do you identify as?
I'm a he, him, but honestly, you can call me whatever and I will respond because I'm just me. So call me whatever.
That's my huswife. My huswife says the same thing. My huswife actually says I'm more interested in how people see me and what I am. But I think that's a generational thing. I think it's a generational thing. I do. We're older, and that's the way we.
I get that. It's actually never been a thing I've really thought too much about. But
right.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I want to say, if I could just backtrack, because it's something that's really important about Clubhouse. When I was close to joining Clubhouse, it was when Texas did all of the things against the trans population. And I saw online that Clubhouse pulled out of participating in South by Southwest in support of the trans community. And I went for it full force after that. Like, that to me was a game changer, to make a public stance like that and talk about it publicly. And it was a really big deal. And that's the kind of company I wanted to work for. So I just have to shout out Clubhouse again for that. So
thank you, Clubhouse, for that. That is like a major. You can really tell, what's going on with these social audio platforms and Medium and the way they react to global events like this in the LGBTQIA plus community. And that's important. I just want to, thank you again, because I just feel like what's different about your relationship and your head of community at Clubhouse is that you do have to pop in and out of places and you're at work, but it doesn't really seem like work to us because you're just interacting with us as a person, You don't really have an agenda except for you're at work, you want to see what's going on, but you really do interact as yourself, and you've come on Clubhouse drunk.
In private rooms, maybe. Is it my job to know what's going on the platform? Absolutely. Do I need to be in every single room? No, and it's not even physically possible. But I want to know what's happening, both as somebody who works here, but really as someone who's just interested in what people are talking about in the world. And I admit it's a little precarious. I think a lot of people don't understand it, and they misinterpret my presence in a room or my lack of presence in a room as support or lack of support. And it's a tricky place to be, but I'm a member of the community, and I can't speak to what the people in the community want if I'm not one myself. So I hate that people have perceptions that I have favoritism or I have a crew or I only go into certain spaces. Like, I go into the ones I want, but I also am curious and I float around. So I'm one man with a small team, and it's a tricky thing, but I'm glad to do it because it is so wildly entertaining.
Okay,
God knows.
This is great. Please, people who don't know about Clubhouse, go check it out. It's amazing. I have 3 more questions and then we're done. And I want to thank you so much once again before I go on, because this is I want to make it clear. You told me you're not at work at Clubhouse now, right? You're off. So you're not like using the work day to do this, which is great. Thank you for telling me that. Queer icons growing up. Just give me a few.
Were there many? Queer icons growing up.
Well, in music, you must have some.
Pop singers, really.
Yeah.
It was Boy George. It was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was the ones that were out. Yeah. How about Frankie Goes to Hollywood?
Absolutely. I mean,
we were in the
yes.
discos. We were dancing. That was the whole thing. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
it.
there wasn't that many, and that was a little bit of a challenge.
A challenge, right? You're my queer
But
icon.
I think as a queer person, you kind of can see these things in other things, like music video that I was so addicted to. You can see the queer touch on art direction and makeup and the way someone presents their music, and you kind of know what's what. And it hooked me. So yeah, not many public icons, but that kind of thing that two gays do when they know each other eye to eye. It's kind of the same with the music video and me.
And you're a vegetarian as well. You've told me.
I'm a vegan. Yeah.
Vegan. When did you make that choice?
It was
And why?
6 or 7 years ago now. I am a crazy insomniac. Like, I rarely sleep. So one night I just decided to watch a documentary on Netflix about the food industry, because I'm a foodie and I love to cook. But once you see a documentary, even if it's complete propaganda, you can't unsee it. And then, of course, they just autoplay to the next one and the next one and the next one. And I don't know, I just look at my puppies and I'm like, oh my God, you have feelings. Why wouldn't the chicken have feelings? Why wouldn't the cow have feelings? And I never went back from that.
I love it. And so I just want everybody to know, look who we had today here. We had this amazing person who has done so much for the music business, for Clubhouse, in our queer community. And I want to go out with one of the greatest ones that he liked, that he put on his AM Gold list. Okay.
That's a good one. I can't even remotely thank you enough for having me. I never thought I was interesting enough that anybody would want to talk to me for an hour. So thank you for doing what you do here and being such a pioneer and a visionary. And I fucking love Barsha and Dove.
Thank you, Joe